So the first thing we need is just something to display. So this is going to be our home page, for want of another word. So this is going to be a HTML file. So inside Genie, I'm just going to go File Save As, and I'm going to find the folder that we looked at in the last video. So GCSE programming, this is where I've saved it. Programming projects, where's it gone? Flask, web app, sorry, there is, create a web app, and templates. So this is going to be a template, and I'm going to call this home.html. Okay, boom, there we go. Now, initially, I'm just going to make this really simple. So I'm going to go HTML, and then I'm going to have a body in my HTML, and inside my body, I'm going to have heading. I'm going to call this my first app, and then I'm just going to say here is the cool part. Okay, so nothing major there. I'm going to press save. So that's now saved in the folder, and this is just a really simple web page. And now what we want to do is create a Web Flask app, which will actually display this on the screen. So let's actually get started on this. So I'm going to create a new file, and I'm going to File Save As again. And again, same ideas. I'm going to put it into the folder, but this time instead of putting templates, I'm putting it straight here, and I'm just going to call this main.py. So now we need to start putting in the Flask specific code. So I'm just going to borrow some code that I've written before, just so I don't have to keep typing and you don't have to watch me type. One second, got the wrong file. So first of all, we need to import Flask. Okay, that just gives us access to all the lovely Flask-esque stuff. And then we need to use something called a root point, wrap root point. So these roots are effectively what you type in the web browser to get to wherever you need to go. So here I've got my first root. Okay, and it's a slash. So this is essentially where you kind of type in www.google.com. Okay, that would be the kind of the root, the main root there, the slash. So if I went to, I don't know, wsomewhere.com/blah, the blah is not the root. Okay, that's the root there. Okay, so this is the one we're talking about here. So what's it going to do? Well, it's going to return something really simple. It's going to go render template home.html. So what does this do? What it does is it opens up this home.html, does all the Flask stuff that's inside it, which we'll come on to in a moment, and it will then render and return it to the web browser. So it's nice and straightforward. That's pretty much it. The next thing we need to do really is to make sure we run the server. So Flask applications are actual servers, which is why we need to have this additional thing. So I'm just going to get rid of this host stuff, and I'll explain what that is in another session. And I'm going to set debug to be true, just because it gives us more information about what's going on. This part is important. Okay, so when we run this as a main file, it will run the application. The app.run basically runs the app. And I'm fairly certain I'm missing something. I knew I missed something. I need to create the app as well, which is like that. So if I run this, fingers crossed it's going to work first time. Has no attribute roots. Oops. You know what? That should be at the top, because that is referring to that. I should really know that one. Okay, here we go. Cool. So, I hope you're impressed by that. Nothing has happened. Oh, never mind. Actually, something has happened. It just is not obvious. So we're running the server now, and something has happened. So, what we can do is I'm going to go to the web address there. So, 127. There's a little cheat for this one. It's just called localhost. And it's got a port of 5000. Now that's just to make it separate from normal websites and stuff like that, so we can test it. And there we go. I've got my first app. Here's the cool part. So with very little code, we have created a web app server, which is now serving up our web apps. And it's done by importing Flask, creating application, setting up a route, rendering a template, and then simply running it at the end. So that's the first one. What we're now going to do is actually explore this in a bit more depth.